something that's going for you?
I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Greenwood Advisory Plan Commission for Monday, October 27th, 2025 at 7 p.m. First item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from October 13th, 2025.
Make a motion to accept the minutes as written from October 13th.
We have a motion by Mr. Milborn. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second by Mr. Probst. Are there any comments or questions about those minutes before we have a vote? Seeing none, all in favor, please show by raising a hand. All opposed, same side. Any abstentions? One. Motion carries 7-0 with one abstention from Ms. Stambaugh. Special requests and continuances. I see none. Findings of fact. I see none. Old business. I see none. Old business from the floor. I see none. So next item on the agenda under new business is PC 2025-057. I apologize if I pronounce this wrong. Akal Enclave Primary Plat. This is a public hearing. Being a public hearing, we will allow 15 minutes for the petitioner to present. That can be followed up by 15 minutes for any remonstrators who'd like to speak. That would be followed by a 5-minute petition rebuttal period, closed by a 5-minute period of remonstrators for their closing remarks. As this is a public hearing, you will need to be sworn in to speak. Anybody who wishes to speak, please stand and be sworn in.
You swear under penalties for perjury the testimony you are about to give is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, can we have the petitioner, please? What? You need to be sworn in too.
Oh, sorry.
You gotta speak.
Do you swear under penalties for perjury the testimony you are about to give is true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Can you come forward and state your name and address?
My name is Mateen Singh. Address is 5920 Tartt Boulevard, Indianapolis 46239.
Yeah, my name is Ryan Reeder, project manager for Stepworth Associates, located at 7965 East 106th Street, Virginia 46038.
Okay. Who would like to speak first?
Yeah,
Mr. Whitaker, go ahead.
yeah. I don't know if do we want to pull it out or do you just want to? Okay. Yeah, just pull up that. Oh, either way, let's just start talking. I'm here on for the Akal Enclave primary plat for the petitioner Randy Singh. The request primary plat approvals for approximately 34.8 acres at the east side of Emerson Avenue and Pushville Road intersection. The existing zoning for this location is RM, and the proposed zoning is as well RM. The project description. Proposed development will include the construction of 51 residential lots, temple, community center, 10-foot trail connections, accessible routes along the public right-of-way, a parking lot, 4 common areas labeled A through D on the primary plat, which we'll pull up in a minute, with a total area of 9.45 acres. The extension of Pushville Road, which is approximately 1,900 linear feet from Emerson Avenue to the east side of the site. This project will also include the connections of Sheep Road and Sutherland Drive to Pushville Road. Running through the center of the project, there will be 3 proposed detention ponds at the development labeled as Lakes 1, 2, and 3. The total proposed private acreage will be approximately 26.1 acres, while the proposed public acreage will be approximately 8.68 acres. This project will border the Heritage Trace Section 2 to the north and the Elmwood Estate Section 2 on the east and south. Now, based off conversation with the city of Greenwood, Planning, the petitioner is aware that Block A will need to be split into additional lots during the secondary plat approval, as the size of Block A does not meet the zoning ordinance. Based on the development standards for zoning RM, the minimum lot size of 7,700, the minimum lot size, lot width of 55, minimum front setback of 20, side setback of 10, maximum rear setback of 25, maximum impervious lot coverage of 50 are all met as part of this preliminary plat. I would like to note that we are working with the City of Greenwood and Commonwealth Engineers on a few minor stormwater issues, but we'll continually work with both of them as we work through the secondary plat portion of this project. In addition, I would like to state that we are in communication with Enterprise Products for the encroachment permit for the storm sewer crossing, as well as the 2 trail crossings that will cross perpendicular at the existing gas line that I'm sure you are aware that runs through the center of this site. And finally, we understand the future landscaping requires streetscape along the public right of way, and the estimated start date of this project is fall 2026, and completion date is fall 2028. I don't know. Sorry, let's see, pull it up. Yeah, if you go into this submittal package, I'm sorry, yeah, and go to, just the call on the primary project, that's why it's top one, yeah. So I'm sure you guys reviewed Pushville Road on the east-west. There are 24 lots in the north, 27 on the south, which includes Block A, which will be a couple with the connections with Sheik and Southern Energy sites on the south, and the trails along Emerson Center. So if you guys have any questions, I'm here to answer anything.
Thank you. We'll handle questions after.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to any remonstrators who'd like to speak. Yes, ma'am. Please come forward and state your name and address.
Good evening, my name is Wendy Murphy, address is 1225 Old Vines Trail, Greenwood. I am sort of the mouthpiece, if you want to call it, for the many of the residents of the South Lake neighborhood, which adjoins to Heritage Trace, Elmwood Estates, and the Pushville Road extension. We have a great deal of concern about the temple location and the parking lot. Primarily, we have a large problem with tractor trailer parking in and around our area, probably due to the proximity to warehouses and the I-65 exit. I live on Old Vines Trail. The Pushville Road extension that is directly behind my house is continuously used for 18-wheeler parking. They often roll in around 1 a.m. in the morning, park overnight, and roll out the following day. If you check with Greenwood PD, you will see there's been numerous calls from our neighborhood regarding the problem that we're having with this. One of our big concerns is this giant parking lot for the temple is going to leave a lot of opportunity for the tractor trailers to come rumbling through our neighborhoods again and park in that location. In addition to our concerns about the traffic from the tractor trailers, we're also concerned about the car traffic for the folks attending the temple and the community center, which is basically smack dab in the middle of several neighborhoods. Since the existence of Heritage Trace and Elmwood Estates has gone in, the traffic of vehicles cutting through the South Lake neighborhood as they exit off of Worthsville Road has more than doubled. We are constantly having people speeding through our streets to get to their neighborhoods, blowing the stop signs. In fact, we had Greenwood PD camped out on some of our roads for a while because they live in the neighborhood and were able to witness just how bad the traffic situation is. When the city was looking to open up South Lake to the Pushville Road extension, we had asked at that time that our neighborhood not be connected to Pushville because we knew this was going to happen. And we were told that was not an option. And that has happened. As predicted, the traffic has increased, and we figure that if there is a community center and a temple smack dab in the middle of all these neighborhoods, it's just gonna exponentially increase because now you're gonna have people who don't live in the surrounding neighborhoods also coming to attend those services. Many years ago, I had met with some Greenwood public officials. As I said, I'm sort of a mouthpiece, my apologies. We were under the impression that the large portion of land that sits on Emerson, that a temple was eventually to be located there. To our way of thinking, that makes a lot more sense, having it located there, where they currently have like cul-de-sacs and houses and stuff going in. It would make more sense to have it there with the temple exiting and entering off of Emerson. Emerson is already a through street that connects all the way down to Whiteland. It has several entrances for neighborhoods there, and it would prevent the enticement of tractor trailers from driving through our neighborhood to come and park in the temple parking lot. We think that it would likely at least curb some of the traffic that might be coming through our neighborhood for the temple, going in to attend the temple and the whatever functions they might have at the community centers. We understand that the land is going to be developed for housing. We always knew that. But the fact that they're looking to put the temple location right smack dab in the middle of all these homes, we don't think it's the best use or the best plan for this area. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who'd like to speak as a remark? Oh, someone online? Okay, I don't see them. I think they have to be visible, don't they?
Yeah. I totally needs video.
Pardon me?
I totally needs video.
Yes.
He just doesn't have it.
We'll give a few moments here.
Okay, can
We don't have any.
you hear me, I assume? Give me just a moment, I'm turning the camera on.
Yeah, we'll need video. There we go.
There you are.
They need to be sworn in.
Do you swear under penalties for perjury the testimony you are about to give is true to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Okay, could you please state your name and address for the record?
Randy Gooden, 1157 Central Park Boulevard, South Greenwood, Indiana, 46143. Good evening. On behalf of my neighbors, I'm so proud that my other neighbors stood up and voiced their opinion, and I agree. There's some real concerns with this development. The traffic is horrendous here already, and the city has done us no favors with the developments that have happened around here with this huge roundabout and everything. And this is just going to exacerbate the problem. We already see so many near misses that happen here. We already see an increase in semi-traffic. And yes, the parking, even with the commitments that we have with other businesses that I have to make them stick to, such as the MAPCO next door, to make sure that we don't have semi-parking on those areas. And the other question I have is, why do we need another place of worship? I know within a 5-mile radius of where I live, you can count on at least 15 or more different places of worship. And to stick this in the middle of a housing subdivision is, I think that we're just asking for more trouble than this could ever benefit us. It doesn't make sense where they're planning to put this. The development itself, yeah, I think it would really, really increase traffic. But looking at that, I'm okay with the development. I just don't think that temple, church, whatever this is planned to be in the future belongs in that area. If they are willing to redevelop that into something else, it's more agreeable with the community and it would serve the community itself better, then I would be fine with it. But I do not believe this type of development belongs there. They haven't shown a need for it that I've ever seen. And I would really question and ask that you at least turn down that part of their proposal. And that's all I have at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who'd like to speak as a remonstrator? Seeing none, we will go back to the petitioner and ask for rebuttals. We have 5 minutes.
All right, so the person that talked about the semi-truck parking, this parking lot is just for cars. We don't anticipate any other function except for Sundays, just like any other church or temple. We're looking at traffic just on Sundays. As far as the truck parking, this church is privately owned. You don't need to call the city. We are against truck parking ourselves. We will not allow any semi-trucks to come in and park in our parking lots because, again, going back, this church is privately owned. So you make a call within 10 minutes, we'll have this thing covered as soon as possible. As far as the traffic goes, that's up to Greenwood doing the traffic studies. I think it's better having the church compared to like the Lennar development where you're going to get constant traffic 24/7 a day, whenever the person thinks about coming or going. The temple is just on a Sunday, and the 50 other homes isn't going to bring more than 100 cars into the neighborhood. So that's just for the traffic part. As far as how many temples are in the neighborhood, we haven't done that study, and there's plenty of churches and temple. I think that's just outrageous claim to make, saying we don't need any other places. Each person has their own beliefs, and this temple is privately owned compared to other ones in the neighborhood that are publicly owned, and they have their own issues, which we don't want to get into, but that's it for my part.
And just to follow up what Randy said, just a couple of notes. First of all, we'll meet with the engineering standards. We'll work with the city of Greenwood to accommodate the traffic generated by this religious structure, which is allowed per the zoning ordinance. The proposed engineering standards for Pushville and Emerson will, as far as Pushville would deter, if anything, more than it did the status of Emerson. Like we said, we'll follow 6 standards. And then final, it's a little unclear to me why, if the temple is placed on Pushville, it would be any different than it would be as far as being along Emerson, as they both have provide frontage for this development. So I'm just here to answer any questions, but I just want to say that.
Thank you. We'll now move on to remonstrators for closing remarks. We have 5 minutes.
I do appreciate your statements about being privately owned and being agreeable to not allowing trucks to park there. However, I do think that would likely be very hard to enforce. As it is, it's difficult enough to get Greenwood to enforce it. Oftentimes these trucks are pulling in, as I said, at 1 o'clock in the morning. Are the temple owners going to give their phone numbers to everybody in the surrounding area so that they can call at 1 o'clock in the morning?
We do.
Would you be willing to design the parking lot in such a way that it would be detrimental to tractor trailers to park there? For instance, maybe the cement dividers between parking spots. Looking at the plan, it looks like, oh, there's room for just a whole bunch of big old trucks to just pull right in. You know what I mean? So if the city were to go ahead and allow the temple to be built there, one of the considerations we would ask is that some sort of design going to be, as I said, detrimental to tractor trailer parking. As to the question of why we would object to it being where it is instead of being on Emerson. Emerson is already an existing, basically a main road. Pushville might one day be a main east-west road, but it's not yet, and it won't be for years to come. Emerson has the church at the corner of Emerson and Roosevelt already. So putting the temple on Emerson with the exit and entrance right on Emerson would just, to my way of thinking, would encourage people to then come off of 65, turn down Emerson and turn right into the church rather than coming through neighborhoods or something else to get pushed up. And just a curious question. Are there other members of the audience here tonight who are also against this proposal? Thank you. I have no further.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who'd like to speak as a remonstrator for closing remarks? Seeing none?
I think there's someone on there.
Oh, somebody online, I'm gonna do that. Yes, sir, Mr. Gooden, I believe it was.
Yes, it was. It's all good. Again, I question putting this where it is because you're gonna trap whoever's trying to get in and out of there. If you look at the curvature of the road, that's not going to be easy to get in and out of. And as far as my neighbor's concerns with the semis getting back there to the parking lot, if that is something that, yes, I think we need to stop. That would be a commitment that I would ask the Plan Commission put into this, that they commit that they would not do such, and that way that they're held to that. And also regarding celebrations of any type of religion is just to be compliant and be neighborly, because we know, I don't know what they were planning on being there, but we know sometimes things around here can get very, very disruptive. And a lot of us in these areas are either retirees or we work from home. And I hate to see this become so disruptive to everyday life here that we start losing our neighbors. So that is my closing remarks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Seeing none now, we'll close the public hearing. Before we get started, I was going to first start off with our planning department. Any comments from them? I just wanted to state that religious freedom in this country is a founding principle, and it's something that I believe we should all be extremely tolerant of. It's a basis of who we are. Mr. Vladi, do you have anything from planning?
Thank you for that. Really, just a couple of things quick. This has been through our tech review committee, and I believe it's received a favorable recommendation with one condition, which I lost track of, but should have in your staff reports.
So drainage will be determined during the construction stage.
Yes. Other than that, the one thing I did want to say is whenever the temple is built on the community center, that will go through our commercial site plan review. So we will look at the layout of that entire site, including parking, which there will be parking islands and landscaping required as part of that. So that will be. What was shown now is just a rough layout. We haven't seen a detailed layout. That will come later on in the process.
Okay, thank you. One comment that I had before we go to the other commissioners is I do know that the constructions of roads and parking lots, you have to design much differently for the large 18-wheel vehicles, the load weights that they have. And I think if I were putting in a parking lot, I may not want those weights to be on it myself. So I understand your concern about not wanting them yourselves. Commissioners, questions, comments?
I'd like to start bring up a few things. I know the area very well. I've been a resident of not South Lake, just to clear up any conflict of interest, but I wasn't a homeowner there for almost 12 years. So I know the area very well. I know when it was constructed, I was one of the first 30 homes there, okay? My issue is there's Friendship Church, Mount Pleasant Christian, Light of Life. That's just in the corner to the top left. We've got MAPCO, used to be, so pay. We've got just not even 1 mile down the street is our new sports complex. There is continued increase in construction, especially as the number of students come into Whiteland. It's going to happen. But I think with anything that goes in, when it has the possibility of increased traffic, those studies help us understand it. But we have to understand that as a community, in my mind, we need to be culturally understanding of all the different types of things that could go into our community. Lot design, prohibitive signs, liability concerns, those should be a concern. But what actually goes in there should not be. And I'm gonna say that until I'm blue in the face. If we have a favorable recommendation from the city staff, I think that is what should weigh in here.
Anybody else? I agree with that. Yes, sir. Mr. Williams.
Let's kind of get back to the drainage. The drainage plan is contingent, based on being able to, cross the BP pipeline. If they're not able to work out an agreement to pass the pipeline, they will still need to satisfy stormwater detention. They will still need to satisfy stormwater runoff rates, water quality, and shall meet the City of Greenwood stormwater technical manual. So state that if they're not able to work out an agreement with the pipeline.
And all that comes post primary plat.
Correct. Right now, what they've submitted will work, but it's,
The
they
details.
have to cross the pipeline, which I don't believe they have permission yet to do that.
Would that need to be in as our conditions or
To say that the drainage will be determined during the construction stage.
Yeah.
They'll have to go through a secondary plat to get their construction permit for that site.
I think for clarity's sake, then if they don't get that, that sort of stops things.
Right.
It could possible,
Could,
yes, or they'd have to come up with a different design that would be acceptable to Greenwood,
Alter the plat somewhat.
possibly.
I just want to add though that there's also traffic in that area from Camilla's. There's Chicago's Pizza. I eat at Camilla's at least once a week, if not every 2 weeks. And I do see trailers and truck drivers just hanging out there. And there are options for us as residents of our city to try to figure out what's going on there and what's legal and what's allowed. Again, prohibitive signs, there's a way in which you can call to get help and get services, but I detect an undertone of something that it doesn't make me proud to be the city of pride and progress. I'm detecting an undertone I don't like. And I just don't see any reason why this should get approved.
Anybody else? If not, I'll accept the motion.
Current PC 2025-57, I move to approve the proposed preliminary plat of, excuse my pronunciation, Akai Enclave, submitted by Stoppenworth and Associates Incorporated on behalf of Manheet Singh, docket PC 2025-057, subject to the technical review committee condition that drainage will be determined during the construction stage. Because the primary plat complies with Unified Development Ordinance subdivision standards, and to direct the president to sign in the commission's behalf a notice of termination and written findings regarding the approval of the primary plat as prepared by the planning director.
We have a motion by Mr. Walker. Is there a second?
Second.
No, second by Ms. Stambaugh. Are there any last questions or comments or things need to be said before we take a vote? Seeing none, all those in favor, please show by raising a hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 8-0. Mr. Singh, good luck. Next on the agenda is new business from the floor. Seeing none, any announcements?
Nothing major. Dave will be back for the next meeting, which you have a full agenda.
That's twice I've heard that tonight.
I know.
And I will be via phone call.
Okay. With Ms. Stambaugh being remote next time, all votes will be taken by roll call. So, if there's nothing else, I'd like to hear one more motion.
Move to adjourn.